Hello, welcome back to Tuesday Talks. We're at episode 3. Woo! For this episode, I wanted to ramble kind of a hot mess of an episode because next week I'm trying to put out a big one. So I'm just gonna introduce you to Lake Colony. Here's Fishfang. Here's the mother of Wave and Scale, also the matriarch, aka leader of the colony. She's great. She's a fun antagonist. I really enjoy her as an antagonist. Here's Lilytail, her second in command. He is the moderator, aka the deputy, and he is like the main one who does all the dirty work. So if she's ever like, hey, go kill a cat, he's like, yes, ma'am, and then does it. That's kind of his position in the colony. And it makes him very interesting because he just kind of like always yes ands her. Here is Mousespot. He is the doctor, medicine healer, whatever you want to call it, but I call it the doctor. He is very interesting with how he works because he's, I would say, very overworked. So much so that he doesn't have a mender or like a novice or anything to help him. And he is dealing with 29 other cats needing healing. So he's just constantly overworked. And he looks like an old man, but he's quite young. Here is Silversnake. She is one of the two guardians of the colony. She likes to tend to the kits the most. She feels more in tune with conversing with them, teaching them things. She'll always be the one that like tries to teach them different points of history or different cultural significance. She works a lot with Birchfeather, who's the other guardian, very well, and Birchfeather is really the one who likes to do a lot more of the physical stuff. So he'll teach them, like, he'll show them how to cross rocks or, like, jump around or swim, and maybe even teach them how to build, like, some nests and stuff, because they don't really like live in dens. They live in bushes that they don't really repair because their camp floods so often. So there's not exactly like any, oh, I have to go repair this den, except like maybe the nursery or elder's den. So they mostly just do other things. Oakleg, he is one of the 3 hunters. He is the brother of Mousespot and 2 other cats that I will point out. He is very... He's a lot of things. I really think that Oakleg is a lot like his brother Acornflank, but also if you put them side by side, completely different. Because they're both kind of this outward personality that attracts a lot of attention, but one does it very aggressively, and one does it super positively and just happy all the time. And the happy one is Oakleg. He is really trying to always be nice and forthcoming to other colony cats, and he's just a great one to be around. We have Sunspot. She likes to do a lot of like group work, but small group work. She has like small tight knit communities that she likes to be in. So she really likes to work probably with just like the hunters alone, or with maybe a dweller and their novice, and just kind of get to know people on small scale because she can get overwhelmed in larger amounts, and she can be really easily pushed around. She often does a lot of what Minnow Spiral says, and Minnow Spiral, as I mentioned before, is the like secondary mentor to Wave. He is quite aggressive in a lot of ways. He pushes others around, mostly Sunspot. He can be very convincing and charismatic, and he's also very physically large. So it's really no one wants to combat him. No one's gonna push against him. And the only person he really listens to is Lilytail and Fishfang, because Fishfang's obviously the leader, and Lilytail is like kind of on the same physical plane as him. So hard to say who would win in a fight between those two, but Minnow Spiral is definitely not a leader in any regard. Well, leader of like a large group. He could definitely be a leader of the small knit hunters. Sageleaf. Sageleaf is Wave's mentor and someone that Fishfang despises. Sageleaf is also mates with a very lovely Tom named Cloversight. They have 3 kits together, which Fishfang is just gut can't say that word. She's just enraged by. She just absolutely hates it because she wishes that was her. And Sageleaf just has this very wholesome relationship with Cloversight. It's great. Daisyberry. Daisyberry is Lilytail's brother. He is. Everyone's surprised when that's mentioned. Like, they can remember that, oh yeah, they were in the same litter, they have the same parents. But when you look at them now, side by side, it's really hard to tell because we have Lilytail, who is this very methodical, intelligent, big boy, and then you have Daisyberry, and he is just this little short himbo who looks like 10 pounds soaking wet. Now we have Acornflank. He is also the brother of Mousespot and Oakleg. He is from their same litter, and you would probably not guess that because he's so much, like, personality-wise, different from Mousespot in particular, but as I said, that kind of like polar opposite of Oakleg, because he's just quite aggressive with how he acts. He is very pretty though. And he is the mentor of Scale, which is really interesting. Now we have Cindercloud, who is Scale and Wave's father. He is kind of a submissive fellow. He's kind of also easily pushed around. It's not exactly a surprise that he's mates with Fishfang either, just because of how he is. I really like his design though, because I think it's kind of like a more brown version of Scale, and he looks like a soft boy. He really does. Quite a sweet boy, but in the worst relationship. Here is Cloversight. Love Cloversight. I think that he is a very good boy that dodged a bullet when he was like, I'm not with Fishfang. I don't want to be in that. Because he definitely saved himself from a world of trouble. Hold on, I just lost my place. Looking at something. Okay, right. Cloversight, very good boy. Amazing. Good father, good mentor. Now we have, Lizard Scorch. She is also quite good. I think that Lizard Scorch kind of fits into this, like, category of she doesn't want anyone else to get in trouble, but then she's all for getting in trouble herself. She's incredibly combative with Fishfang and with Lilytail. Like, she'll get right up in their faces, but she doesn't want to get in trouble per se. Now we have Sedge Twig, who is the final sibling of the like Acorn Flank, Oakleg, Mousespot litter. She's the only girl of that group. She looks a lot like her two brothers with the white and the brown, which is great. And she is also really highly motivated like the rest of them. And she's a great hunter. She's good at all sorts of these physical activities. And it makes her really interesting because she avoids having a novice like the plague. I know there's another cat in a different colony that's like, I want so desperately to have one, and Sedge Twig is like, I'm gonna avoid it as long as possible. And it's just so very amusing to me that she acts like that. Because honestly, a little bit, same though. Okay, I can see her motivations why. So, large clan, I know. I'm gonna try to get to the other half of the clan next time, because there was a lot, and doing 30 cats all on one would have taken forever. I mean, this already took me like 2 hours maybe. And I didn't even show the sketching, which probably took 10 minutes extra or whatever.